Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all doing well. If you're new here, I'm Betty and thanks for joining us today. So just a quick reminder, the Masters and I are starting our new series, the Golden Codex, on March 1st. It is an 8-part series specifically designed to align you with the harmonic octave of the Golden Age. So if you'd like to learn more about the series, the details, and the registration, you can go to my website, which is listed below in the description box. Hope you can all join us. It allows you to walk through, and I'm so excited to be able to be presenting this with the Masters. So hope we all get to see you there. All right, so a couple of decades ago, Sourcehead showed me a 3-world split, with each world appearing differently in both composition and geometry. And I understood at the time that one day the Earth would separate from itself, splitting into parallel dimensions. And fast forward to 2026, we have now arrived at what is called the final frequency gate. This year offers a narrow window where prepared souls can cross the bridge into the next octave of light. And after that, the gate will be harmonically sealed. So this window represents an energetic point of initiation. This is the entrance into the new epoch of consciousness. And it's not, and they're kind of saying this is not something to fear. Again, it is a choice point. You know, this is open for you should you choose it. They're also giving me the saying, it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich person to enter the kingdom of heaven, which means the 5th dimension. But this actually means it speaks of vibration, not status, meaning that only those who hold a higher vibration are able to enter. This is the way the universe works. Everything is based on cycles, geometry, and vibration. So this timeline split is a sorting of vibrations, and those that live from and are aligned with higher frequencies will automatically shift into the golden octave. Those that are unable to hold the higher light will remain in density, whether it is on this Earth plane or another planet that's similar to a 3D experience. In a sense, it is what science calls mitosis, where the cell, or in this case Gaia, is splitting off from herself. And after the division of the cell or the planet, both remain whole after splitting apart. So at the same time, new life is being created from this division. This expansion is happening for all of Gaia and all beings that reside on and within her. And as this divide widens, those of the higher light become invisible to those of the lower realms. You simply vibrate out of this reality, as 5D and above is non-physical. It's similar to when a loved one passes. They may disappear from the earth plane, but they are still connected to you even if you don't see them. And many of you are aware of that. You actually can see them, or you receive signs and messages in different ways. So you know you're always still connected to them. A great book to read if you haven't already is The Celestine Prophecy. It is an older book, but it is a good read. It's kind of an adventure book in a sense, but it also speaks about insights into higher consciousness. And I'll give the end of the story away, but at the end, one of the main characters is standing there and just instantaneously disappears from reality, and they're looking and they can't find him. He is just vibrated out. So it is a good book to read. It can awaken you in many different ways. But this is ascension. When we vibrate high enough, we just simply move on to the next dimension. So for those choosing to walk upon the new earth, this is your last incarnation. You've completed your final assignment. Okay, yes, thank you. So they're saying, yes, it is, but the one thing besides distortions that can hold you back is having feelings of obligations to others. There will be those who will not be able to come with you. And if you have or carry these feelings of, well, I can't leave them, they need me, I don't want to leave them alone. First of all, they're never alone. And second, the key to remember is that they have their own journey and their own lessons to complete. You cannot do it for them, you cannot fix them, and you cannot save them. They must do it for themselves. So this feeling or this sense of obligation that you cannot move forward without them will only result in forming cord attachments that will end up dragging you down and continue to keep you tethered in the lower realms. So you cannot move forward into the next octave if you're attached to this world. So when you choose to interfere with others' personal journeys, you deprive them of their own lessons that they need to learn, why they came here. But when you detach and release all that surrounds you, it allows you to learn on their, it allows others, to learn on their own and at their own pace. And this allows you to descend. And I understand firsthand, it is very hard to look around you and recognize those that are not coming with you, especially if it's your own children, your spouse, loved ones, dear friends. It's very hard to see them in that light, but they just haven't quite finished the lessons that they need to learn. And it's not that you'll never see them. You are a soul family, and it will continue on, and you never lose that connection. It's just a brief blip in time that you were separated in a sense, but you were always connected. It's also important to remember that we are all light beings and that we came to play a role for our own spiritual evolution. And those dear ones agreed to come down and play their parts with us, so we help each other. We all learn through density, so we may find our way back to the light. And again, this is just the process, how things work. I'm hearing the song by the Eagles, Taking It Easy. They're giving me the particular line of, we will never be here again. And that's perfect in a sense, because that's exactly where we are. What we're doing has never been done before throughout the universes. It is the first in creation. So yes, we will never be here again. We will never be at this point again. So if you choose, take advantage of it, because this is a grand opportunity. And they're teasing me, and they're saying, yeah, you can, when you when you get back to the higher realms, you get to boast about this and say, I was there and I accomplished this and I did that. So yeah, so we will never be at this point again, and this is your opportunity. Okay, so as we've been receiving these intense light waves, obviously it plays a part in changing our bodies, and we are experiencing some new and very interesting physical symptoms. These started occurring, I noticed, during the last solar eclipse in February. In addition, to the usual ones that we have with heart palpitations and internal vibrations, the normal ones, now we're experiencing on a different level. You may find your blood pressure spiking, pulsating body parts, and waves of heat. And I don't mean the menopausal type of waves of heat. It's I don't know how to describe it. It's just something that washes through you. I really have no way to explain it, and I know other people have told me the same thing, but it is very different from like I said, the menopausal type of heat that you get. You might have also felt very ravenous and eating more than you normally would. I've certainly noticed that with the people around me. It's like, really, you having another piece? It's like, but it's normal as we expend more energy because we're transforming. So we need that extra fuel in us to keep going. And during this time, I know myself, I felt electricity like Thor running through me. I could barely contain the amount of energy that was flowing in. I held so much electricity that I could have easily powered the entire block, no problem. And I've been experiencing this for the last couple of weeks, and I find it gets stronger at different times of the day. And all I can do is regulate it and relax until it assimilates. These symptoms will probably continue till after the lunar eclipse on the 3rd, and then linger a little bit after, before everything kind of integrates and assimilates. So whatever you're experiencing, it's unique to you. There are general ones, but sometimes you'll experience things that others do not. Just hang in there and make sure you're using your light skills to regulate yourself and get outside in nature. This is our best medicine right now, is just to get out there, because when you're walking, sitting, you're just breathing, you're anchoring in these energies within you into Gaia, and that helps you relax. So like I said, best medicine right now that we have. Okay, and yeah, thank you. And with all the upgrades that we've been receiving, our vocabulary is also changing. We are beginning to acknowledge and think in terms of frequencies and resonance versus being external and reactive. When you consider your emotions, thoughts, and words or frequencies that you're sending out messages to the universe, you choose to be more careful about all of it, because the language of frequency can either create love or it can cause conflict. The other thing is, in the old 3D world, it took us much longer to manifest. Now that our frequencies have risen, creation has sped up, bringing us faster results. And you might have noticed this, that you can basically think about something and then boom, it happens. So within the higher frequencies, what you think happens instantaneously. So you have to be very careful and very aware of what's going on throughout your entire body, your mind, your emotions, and your words. We no longer have to wait for anything as we did in 3D. We just create it. We just create the frequency for it. Okay, yes, we just create the frequency for it. So if you desire peace, you embody the frequency of peace. Now, I know this sounds simple, and it is. Humans just like to make things more complicated than they really are. And when we start using the language of frequency, our reality begins to change, aligning us with our highest outcome and the things that we desire. So they're giving me an example. You know, in the higher realms, you don't go to the store, you create it with the frequency instantaneously. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so start practicing the language of frequency and have some fun with it. Don't make it a job, don't make it a chore, but just start your day with it and just say, okay, let me bring in the frequency of, okay, they're giving me the example of joy, and see what happens. And as you share your frequency of joy with others, you'll find it's contagious. And then when you spread joy to someone, then that person can spread joy to someone else, and it's the ripple effect. And then with that joy that you're spreading, doors and opportunities open for you, ones that you might have never thought of. And this is when you finally sink in and tap in to your true power, your true frequency of who you really are. And you are the creator of all that surrounds you. So yeah, so have some fun with it and just try it. Just try something and then just watch and observe how the day goes from there. Okay. All right. So they want to speak about what we had talked about last year about those in power beginning to have problems and yes, just starting to fall. You are now witnessing that domino effect that we spoke about, and this includes certain spiritual leaders. There are those spiritual leaders that were involved and others that simply had their pictures taken. And people in the limelight have their pictures taken all the time, not always necessarily knowing who they're taking the picture with, which is unfortunate because, you don't know, or you didn't know at the time. So observe what context, the pictures and the information were taken in, okay? So, is there really actual, conversations of things going on, or is it just where they were mentioned and it's somebody of interest that they wanted to kind of attract into their circle? It runs, as this unfolds, it runs deeper than anybody knows. So please use your discernment, and remember, not all are directly involved. They just are, happen to take a picture or were mentioned in the files. So use your discernment with that. Many will fall, and the reasons go, again, much deeper than was ever imagined. And I guess this has to, this had to happen. This has to come to the surface for many, many reasons. For us to stand up and say, no, we don't want this anymore. This isn't going to happen, and we need to, go after those that have done this. And it is a very large ripple effect going around the world. And, there will be more shocking things that come up. And you just try to keep remembering that, this has to happen. And what are we going to do with it? How are we going to treat this? But they will no longer get away with their lifestyles as we are moving into an era of moral transparency. You go into the higher realms, you can't hide anything, you can't fake anything, and nor if you did these things, you would even be there. Again, the frequency, the vibration would not allow it. So before you purchase that next vehicle, that product, or attend that seminar, do your research and make conscious choices by using your own guidance system, your intuition. If it doesn't feel right, it probably isn't. Bottom line, how many times have you probably been in a situation where you go, I don't know, but you went ahead and did it anyway, and then in hindsight you realize, yeah, I should have listened to my intuition. So that's what it's all about, you being a sovereign being of yourself. Okay. Excuse me. We have, this month is kind of light. I want to say we're still in retrograde, but we have 2 events this month, one on March 3rd, which is the total lunar eclipse / blood moon. And on March 20th, we have the spring equinox. These are both portal openings, so you can expect more waves and more codes of light coming in. And we'll see what these bring us. But I'm sure those on the East Coast are happy to hear that spring's on the way. After all, it was a rough winter for everybody on the East Coast, so I'm sure it'll be happy. Although I've been in New York when Mother's Day was snowing, so it can still carry through for a bit. So hoping that it doesn't for you guys. Okay, so that's it. So this month's light language activation is for the anchoring of both these eclipses, the solar and the lunar that are coming in, and we're just going to do this for anchoring those codes for you, so it helps you kind of go through it with grace and ease as best we can. Okay, let us begin. Dahuriania siania apa o oriniania su itita ishta egina ainia no orinea niempare ya pare de pisu tata ina adia ana asu ania agari nina agriana su urutosu yantia su aramane ikiti sanai u na orupa asai kibiania garatubiste na ayoro to suti area na suute initianenia oru huahatia senia atia orenia augoro papaya sultan ne iano suiania ka uraba suiania taya yena kuru to suyushti iniaka aurama sutia surinia kanachana tushte intiana hirinin gidiatusu mbaareto uratipa asu yeneakia. They're showing me codes from Venus. And Archangel Shamuel is coming through. So as you listen to this, see yourself surrounded by the power of pink. See pink light surrounding you and flowing within you. Dia hushti mi intiaro riania taiera sui pista atura taine ya kurata surana. Da ishte niata yana tosu yana akaratushte niata yesu urtaya ba a oyeniasha te ita urata darianasa. Okay, that was fun. So yeah, they want you during this passageway of the eclipses, and even a week or two after the eclipse, Okay, so now they're just moving it to the end of March. As things come up this month and that might shock you, it's they're saying it's helpful if you just see yourself surrounded by this pink power of love, they're calling it, power of pink, they're calling it, excuse me, and just let it go within and around you. This is lifting you up in love and light. And so in the morning, you can start your day with that. Just see yourself encircled with the light of the power of pink, and let it flow within you, let it flow within your heart space throughout the month of March, and longer if you need it. But they're saying this month is important that you do that. You can also call upon Archangel Shamuel if you choose to help you kind of seal that around you, okay? And it will help you throughout this month, no matter what occurs. Okay, I guess that's it. All right, so thank you everyone for watching. And I'm sending you so many blessings for the month, and happy spring, and I will see you next month. Take care. Bye-bye.